مجمع الأندلس التعليمي، تعلم عصري ملهم بهوية وطنية وقيم إسلامية.
Hello dear students, it's me again, Mr. Osama Abdurrauf, introducing Unit 3, Lesson 2, Reading Part 2. As you know, the title of Unit 3 is Human Nature. As we always do, we need to check your homework first. So, open your workbooks, page 29, to check your homework, which was Exercise A. In Exercise A, you had to fill in the spaces with words from the options available. Here are the answers. Number 1. The problem of space unfortunately exists in richer countries as well. Yes, poverty. B. 2. Many people prefer living on the, yes, outskirts of a city as opposed to the center. Number 3. My father sends a large, yes, the donation to Greenpeace every year. And finally, number 4. My older sister is very true, be independent, so she likes to get things done on her own. I wish you hadn't faced any problems with this exercise. Now let's start our lesson for today. As you can see, Lesson 2, Reading, Part 2, will be in student books page 38 and 39 and also on page 29 of your workbooks. Let's first start by reading the objectives of today's lesson. At the end of the period, students should be able to 1. Skim and scan 2 different reading texts for the answers of CR questions. By CR questions, I mean أسئلة مقالية. Number 2. At the end of the period, students should be able to correctly guess the meanings of new words from contexts and then use them in meaningful contexts. The last objective for today is to correctly use new words in meaningful contexts. I mean from your own. Before we start, I'd like to remind you of the difference between a biography and an autobiography. Do you remember the difference between them? Yes, true. A biography is an account, or when someone writes about someone else, then he is writing a biography. But if someone is writing about himself, this is called an autobiography. Keep that in mind. Okay? Now let's turn to our work for today. Open your student books, page 38 and 39, to do exercises F, G, and H. Exercise F. Provide a written response to the following question in your own words. Use information from the text to support your answer. As I told you, this question is a CR question. It means, in Arabic, سؤال مقالي. In this type of questions, you need to fill in a table. The table has 2 spaces to fill in. One of them is the answer, and the other is the evidence or the proof from the text. Okay? So the question is, how do you think both Abdul Sattar Eddy's and Salman Singh's attitudes towards helping others were influenced by their parents? Here, you have to fill in 2 spaces. You should say how their attitudes changed, and you have to give evidence from the text. Okay? Pause the video for 5 minutes, answer the questions, and then play the video again to check your answer. Here is the answer, which has 2 parts. The first part should be like this. The parents of both Abdul Sattar and Salman had a huge impact on their lives. This is the first part, but you have to give evidence from the texts. As for Abdul Sattar's evidence, we can say Abdul Sattar's mother taught him the importance of charity when he was a child, and also taught him to love and care for the sick. As for the evidence about Salman's parents, we can say Salman's parents were immigrants who made him believe in the importance of education. So it's no surprise he focused on providing schooling for children in need. I hope your answers were close to this answer. Now let's move to exercise G. Before doing the exercise, watch the following video to know how to deal with a very important question, which is guessing the meanings of some words from context. Watch and take notes, please.
Focus on reading. How to infer the meaning of unknown vocabulary. Let's first choose a word from the reading text, how your Facebook status could leave you jobless. Repercussions. 1. Think about the wider meaning of the paragraph and the text as a whole. What might happen if you use Facebook at work? Is this a positive or negative thing? 2. Look at some of the language that surrounds the word you don't know. Are the words concern and grievances positive or negative things? These words are negative, so we can guess that the unknown word might also have a negative meaning. 3. In the text, repercussions comes after the word face. What words do you often see after face? Problems, danger, challenges? Again, these collocations have a negative meaning. 4. Can you think of a word or phrase that has a similar meaning to the word you are trying to understand? Effect, result, consequence. 5. If you need to, check the meaning of the word in a dictionary. Try to write a new sentence including the word to help you to remember what it means. So, to summarise. 1. Think about the wider context of the paragraph and the text. 2. Look at some of the words that surround the word you don't know. Are they positive or negative? 3. What other words are often associated with the language that you find? 4. Can you think of a word or phrase with a similar meaning to the word you are trying to understand? And 5. If you need to, check the meaning of the word in a dictionary. Write down your own sentence using the word to help you to remember what it means.
Now it's time for application. Here you have 4 words and you have to read them in their contexts to guess their meanings. The words are devote, welfare, orphanage, and guardian. Pause the video for 5 minutes. Try to guess the meanings of the words, match them, and finally, play the video again to check your answers. Here are the answers. Number 1, devote means, yes, D, to give all of one's time and effort to something. Let's read it from context. When she suffered a stroke and was paralyzed in 1939, her 11-year-old son devoted the next 8 years of his life to her health. Devoted his life, 8 years of his life. It means he spent or he set this time for his mother. So yes, the answer is D. Number 2, welfare. Yes, I can hear you. Falah, good. The answer is H. concerned with the general health and happiness of people. Welfare in Arabic means رفاهية. Look at the word in the text. In Karachi, Eddie began what would soon become the largest welfare organization in Pakistan and the largest volunteer network in the world. Yes, true, the answer is H because Abdul Sattar is a doctor who seeks the health and happiness of people. Number 3, orphanage. I think most of you are familiar with this word. So the answer is C, home for children without parents. Orphanage means maitam, a place where children without parents live. True. Number 4, guardian. Yes, guardian is if a person who by law is responsible for the protection and care of a child. A guardian in Arabic means al-wasi. Now it's time to check the meanings of these words in the dictionary by clicking on the pictures as we usually did.
welfare, welfare,
welfare, welfare,
orphanage, orphanage,
orphanage, orphanage, guardian, guardian,
guardian, guardian,
Exercise G, Part 2. Here, we have 4 words that were mentioned in the 2 texts. This time, we're gonna look them up first in the dictionary and then do the rest of Exercise G. Let's go on.
outskirts, outskirts,
outskirts, outskirts,
rural, rural,
rural, rural,
pursue, pursue,
pursue, pursue,
fundraising, fundraising,
fundraising, fundraising,
After looking up the words in Cambridge Online Dictionary and knowing how they are pronounced both in the British English and in the American English, I think now it's very easy for you to match the word with its meaning. Pause the video for 3 minutes, do the exercise, and then play the video to check your answers. Here are the answers. Outskirts means, yes, E, located on the edge of a city. Rural means, true, A, in the countryside. 7, pursue, yes, B, to try to achieve or work towards. And finally, number 8, fundraising, yes, G, which is the process of collecting money, usually for charity. I hope your answers were all correct. Now let's move to exercise H. Exercise H. Here you have to answer these questions. Number 1. What did you find most interesting about the people in the two texts? Number 2. Do you think it would be difficult to devote your life to works of charity and helping others? Please pause the video and write an answer for these two questions. Your answer could be in one sentence or one paragraph. Here is the answer of question number 1. Well, I'm always fascinated by people who devote their lives to philanthropy. In this case, I was most impressed by the fact that Abdulsattar Eddy was able to start such a wide-ranging volunteer network even though he came from poverty himself. I also find the work that Salman Singh does very important. When you provide children with education, you are giving them the opportunity to change the course of their lives. What about question 2? Do you think it would be difficult to devote your life to works of charity and helping others? Actually, yes. I do think it would be difficult, but I also think that it's very important that we do it in spite of the difficulty. Our faith teaches us that we must be charitable to all people and devote our lives to helping others. Muslims are charitable. Now let's move to workbook. Open your workbook's page 29 to do exercise B. In exercise B, we have 7 spaces. Each space has 4 options. Please pause the video and do the exercise and then play the video back to check your answers. Here are the answers. Number 1, D. 2, A. 3, C. 4, B. 5, B. 6, B. And 7, A. I hope you got 7 out of 7. Now it's time for homework. Your homework will be on the same page, 29, but exercise C. Have a look at it. If you have any problems, contact your teachers. Till we meet again, goodbye and thank you.